So I may have bought another LS430 during the filming of this video. This one just can't really stay away, I guess. Yeah, here she is. 2005 black on black. Look at that seat, excellent condition. It is the Ultra. It does have radar cruise. It has a good service history. But check out this underside. This is just fantastic, not a speck of rust. Gotta love these West Coast cars. Alrighty, first drive in the Ultra. This one's got 309K on it. It makes me laugh, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Something with a good service history. You know, maybe went a lot of long distance trips, because driving this thing, you would never know it has this much mileage on it. So I'm not seeing anything wrong as far as suspension, steering. The struts on this have been replaced a couple times by Lexus, the air struts, so those seem good. The only thing we have to deal with is the nav and the radio and all that. There's no power. You know, really, that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing else to do on here. Everything interior is all super clean. I mean, literally, you know, wash the outside, maybe take care of the leather a little bit, clean it, but even the floor mats are clean. Back seat looks good. All this center console stuff, I mean, you would never know this thing has 300 whatever thousand miles on it. But look at this, timing belt was done at some point. I really can't read that, but we'll see if I can decipher it later. 2.4 maybe, I don't know. Oh, here's another one, 180K. So yeah, super quiet, you know, zero exhaust leaks. Then we will wash this when the sun sets tonight, take pictures tomorrow, and then plan on what we're going to do with this. Are we going to ship it back, try to sell it here? You know, there's a lot of different options, but from what I'm seeing, it seems like people out in the West Coast don't care about West Coast rust-free cars. So I don't know. And funny thing, I always thought this radar emblem was like a piece of plexiglass, but in fact it's an actual picture. It's a picture of a grill and a picture of an emblem. So funny, they changed this in the later years, but I thought that was kind of funny. I've never had one with the radar cruise. So yeah, this one, like I said, another California car. It is black, so it's kind of unfortunate as far as like scratches and stuff, but I did a short video on this. Hopefully you can see some of this, but it's totally rust free under here. There's still a sticker on the lower control arm there, but very rust free. A little bit higher mileage, but that's okay. Everything works. There's nothing in this car that does not work. Here you can see some of the scuffing. I mean, you know, whether you want to wet sand this or buff it or whatever, and that's just bad car washing here. So just soap. So as of now, I have 6 LS430s, and my goal is to have them like all lined up in a row for sale together with the little the cool numbers on the top that tell you how much the car is. But we'll see if that materializes. It's kind of funny because as soon as I bought some, like, it seemed like the market just dropped on them, and I can't even get anything for them. But that's typically what happens when I get into something, like the JDM thing or whatever. As soon as I like invest time and money into something, it just like disintegrates, and I can't make any money off of it. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully someone will buy this for more than the $2,000 offers I've been getting. But that's how it is. People are kind of like, here's I'll give you $2,000 and you can't even buy them that much or that cheap in the auction, so we'll see. Well, I don't know what was wrong. I don't know why I took all this out, but everything's good. AC is ice cold. I should have looked better at the fuses. I don't know what this is either. It's like some story book. So essentially what the problem was, when I looked under the dash, there's a plastic trim that covers, for some reason it was covering this whole top row of fuses, if that makes sense. So I was looking like a fuse row down, and I missed the radio number 1. This was blown, I replaced it, everything's good again. So yeah, it was as simple as a fuse. Just knocked out the whole system. Sometimes that's how easy it is. So on the topic, the navigation here uses 3 fuses. Radio number 1 you want to check. P ignition right here, 7.5, and then go a couple down, P accessory. So 3 fuses. If any one of those 3 are bad, this isn't going to work. If you get system not connected error, again, check those fuses. Typically that's going to be your problem. If this, let me see here. If the touch screen doesn't work, that's something else. That's like this actual panel. But again, once it connects to the whole system in the car, it'll start working like this. It'll work properly. So easy fix. I'm happy. Could put it all back together, and that's it. We're good. Back in the Midwest, 40 degrees and rain. Here is the 365,000 mile LS430. This is my baby. White exterior, white pearl with black leather interior, very rare. Here is that 95,000 mile Arizona car, Nevada car. This is the one with nice wheels, and then it had the fog light that was broken and damaged in here, and they repainted this fender. We're replacing the front and rear bumper covers because they were kind of messed up, as you remember. Other than that, this is a really clean car. Again, 95,000 miles, Southwest car. Like, it's solid. So bumper's good. There was no impact to the actual bumper. There was something under here that we're gonna have to pull out of there. No big deal. It's a little sheet metal work. But yeah, here's the old front bumper. There was the damage here. So this is pulled off. There's our inner foam piece. That still looks good. And then our parking sensors here, those are all good. Here's the old one. Yeah, this tape here, that was the bad sensor. So we've got a new sensor there. For whatever reason, sometimes they just go bad if they're impacted or, you know, over time. But you can use Techstream to figure out which one of these is bad, because it could obviously be any one of them. The only way you can find out is if you hook up a diagnostic tool, and it'll tell you exactly which one's bad. And number 6. This is number 6 LS430. This is a Flint Mica, the gray color from Arizona. As you can see from all the Arizona dust in there, another customer that just doesn't keep their engine bay nice and clean, and the hood struts are bad, obviously. It's like a standard thing. You know, hood struts, clean the engine, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So another auction car. This one's got the gray interior again. Interior looks good. Everything is fine. It's the ML, no headlight washers. So yeah, modern luxury version. This one, I don't even know what the mileage is. Let's see if we can. Uh-oh, why isn't that working? Oh, yeah, back seat again. Just, you know, another clean car. Like, I find the clean cars. The only issue with this one is I think some of the paint was like repainted, or not the whole thing, but sun damage, or there was some weird clear coat issue. I don't even know. I really don't even know. Either way, some clear coat like peeled off. It's hard to see because it's all wet now. But so yeah, another LS430. That makes you know, 6 LS430s. Hopefully they don't keep accumulating, and I can try to sell some of these before I have 10 of them and 12 and so on and so forth. you know, nice clean trunk. That's it. That's the story. Nothing too crazy. This one's got a VSC light problem from what I saw. 127,000, so, you know, relatively low mileage. There is a track light, check engine light, and a VSC light. So that could all just be one problem. We'll check the codes tomorrow and see what's going on, but it drives, it starts fine. A lot of times these auction cars, they just, you know, they don't know what the problems are. They don't want to deal with it. Maybe they think they can't sell it at retail, what it's worth. Maybe they don't have buyers for it. You know, I don't know. Different parts of the country have different, like, demands and whatnot. But, you know, an Arizona car in the Midwest, again, that's gonna ask a premium. It's rust free, I think, I hope. I didn't actually look, but let's look right now. Let's see if what we got going on under here. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty clean. There's some rust on the axle there, but yeah, for the most part, like, the exhaust is original. You know, this rear sensor, normally these are all rusted and toast. You can still see, oh, we do have aftermarket struts there, unfortunately. So stupid stuff like that, where people replace original struts with aftermarket, that's kind of a problem. We have to address that. You know, or keep the price low and just sell it like that. You know, my motto is sell these cars for the minimum amount of profit to myself, because that's just how I roll. We got a timing belt, 2011 at 53,000. 53,000? Why would they do that? Well, either way, 90,000 on 50,000, we're still good. Technically, from the age of it, you should change it, but I don't think anyone's gonna complain. So yeah, real nice car. Real nice car. All right, this foam cannon's like 12 years old, so I figured it out now, finally. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is what a nice Southwest car looks like. All the bolts and everything are still gold. I mean, this is priceless in the Midwest and East Coast. This is just fantastic. This is awesome. I love it. So we've got factory exhaust. Look at these exhaust bolts. Like, where are you gonna find exhaust bolts and nuts from a 2005 that look like that still? Everything under here is good. Same story. Like, these LSs are all the same. They're not gonna have any kind of issues unless you know, there's some damage or bodywork, whatever. Got an update on this bad boy. Turns out this has a check VSC, track off, engine light, all that good stuff. So that's probably why they got rid of it, because it's not shifting, it's stuck in third gear. But that is not an issue here. We figure out what the problem is, diagnose it, and fix it. So we'll do a quick little jaunt here. I can show you the problem. Obviously, this is what freaks out a lot of used car dealerships, or the shady ones that just want to flip and, you know, make money on it, because they just need a car that looks good, drives good, and everything else. You know, once you start getting into this weird stuff that doesn't show up on OBD, they ditch it at auction. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So I scanned it. We have a code, but keep an eye on this SPDNT. That is important. That is related to our code, which is P0717, turbine speed sensor circuit, no signal. Now, the diagnosis says if you have 0 at all times, there is problem with the sensor, or a short, or like it's not connected or something, or the wire's broken. If you have some numbers in there, then there's some intermittent problem. But the Toyota diagnostic thing, I mean, it pretty much tells you step by step how to test it and what to do. So there's two options here. We've got, now this speed doesn't have anything to do with the speedometer. This is just another sensor in the transmission. If it's always 0, there's an open or short in the sensor or circuit. If it's always more than 0 and less than 300 RPM, then there's a sensor trouble, improper installation, intermittent connection. So that basically gives you the two options of why this code would be coming up. And you'll see here, it drives okay, but you've just got up to 3rd gear, and the shifts are kind of like clunky, and that's it. So even if you manually shift, it's not going to go any higher than 3rd. And you know, imagine you're a used car dealer or something trying to sell this car, and that's it. That's all you get. You're like, oh, trans is bad, got to unload this thing. No, it's not the case. So we have 0 RPM at all times. That means we got to figure out where this NT turbine sensor is, and check the wiring, check the plug, and maybe replace the sensor, and then we'll be good to go on this one. But this is what we're looking for. So if you look up here above those 2 lines, you'll see, hopefully you can see that. Right above those 2 lines, there's that black sensor. And you see the sheathing is kind of gone. That's the sensor we're looking for. That measures the input shaft speed of the torque converter. So that one is likely bad. There is a second sensor on the opposite side, right here. And this is your speed sensor. So that is not the one we're looking for. The one we're looking for is right here. So I'm just gonna simply check the wiring. And they have these sensors on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So I'm gonna throw one of those in, see if it works, and hopefully it will be good. We've got the wires hooked up to the ECU. Basically, we're back probing this connector to measure the wires that go back to the sensor. So here it tells you on the ECU which connector, and then which pin, the colors, and there's 3 tests. So we're testing basically each leg to ground, and those should be 10K ohm or higher, which it is. And then you're also testing the wires together, 560 to 680 ohms. We're at 648 ohms. So everything is checking out here. That means everything from the connector, the wiring harness, back to the sensor is good. Now the next step is ECU replacement. Now this kind of worries me because there already is, you know, another ECU in here, which means, tells me they've already tried the ECU and the ECU didn't work. So can it be the transmission? I don't know. There's nothing in the flow chart that says it might be the transmission. So I guess at this point we'll try a different ECU just to see, or maybe try rebuilding this one. But again, we can't really trust their diagnosis or what they replaced or repaired at this point. We just have to start and follow the instructions, stick to the plan of what Toyota says to do. So we've already replaced the sensor, we've checked the sensor, we've checked the wiring. Now it says, okay, replace the ECU. Here is the repair flow chart. So as you can see, it gives you all the information you'd ever need. So basically right here, P0717, turbine speed sensor, circuit no signal. The sensor detects the rotation speed of the turbine. So right here, the clutch drum, and I suppose, I mean, something could be damaged here, but these are toothed. This is a toothed gear, so I don't know, you know, the teeth would have to all fall off, and then I wouldn't think the transmission would do anything. So yeah, timing rotor, clutch drum. So we're gonna assume this is fine, and then there's your NT speed sensor, and like I mentioned before, there's 2, one in the back, one in the front. Okay, good. So it goes through all the diagnosis procedure here, just basically the condition. So basically if you're moving 31 miles an hour or more and this happens, then here's the trouble area. So open or short in the sensor, well, we replace the sensor and it still doesn't work. And we check the wiring at the sensor. Speed sensor, we replace it Next step, ECM, and the worst case scenario, the automatic transmission. So, I don't know, this is a tricky one. Basically, there is no waveform because there's just no signal at all. Detects the pulse. Output by only little, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This goes into more detailed strategies about it and all that. Thresholds. Here's how to read it through Techstream or your scan tool, OBD stuff. It'll show you like what the sensor. And then speed sensor is always 0. So open or short in the sensor or circuit. That's what we're dealing with here. And then it just kind of goes through what we just went through, the ECU connector, how to measure, what to measure, and then the last step. If the wiring is no good, which it was, we don't have to deal with that. Replace ECM right here. So I guess that's what we're stuck with. Replace ECM. My final test involves testing the sensor when the motor is running. So you'll see we have our multimeter here set to DC voltage. And then over here you will see a small LED. That's an amber LED. And the theory is that when the drum is spinning inside the transmission and it's generating a very small amount of current, if the sensor is not detecting anything from the transmission, there's going to be no voltage, nothing going on. So we're verifying that when the transmission is spinning, it is generating a magnetic current, and it should light up the LED here, and we should get voltage here. I've already tested this on another vehicle that I know works. This should go down based on RPM. So as RPM goes lower, that voltage should go lower. And you'll also see, let me shut this light off, you'll see the LED is illuminated. So that means there is enough voltage to light up that LED, and this should be conclusive proof that there's something wrong with this replacement ECU. Because number one, I tested this on another car that does not have the code, and we're getting about 0.15 volts at idle, a lower idle than this. The LED lights up on the car and there's no code. So we're getting the exact same readings between this car and a running car. And I keep going back and forth. I'm like, is it the transmission? Could something in the transmission be bad, not causing the signal to work? And I don't think so, because I think they replaced the transmission because there's evidence of the wire loom not being plugged in to the metal retainers. There's evidence of like an old wiring loom in the transmission. So like this piece is in one of the brackets, but then the harness also has the same piece. So I think they replaced the sensor, they replaced the ECU, they replaced the transmission, and this thing still didn't work, which doesn't make sense because everything's been replaced. But what we're seeing here, it's the sensor's feeding good voltage and a good signal directly into the ECU. So it has to be the ECU. We got another one on the way, we'll try it. I mean, it doesn't make sense that it was replaced and it still doesn't work. But everything we're seeing here says, you know, that transmission sensor is definitely feeding the correct signal to the ECU. All right, guys, a few days later, so let's recap. The car had an issue with the sensor, the front speed sensor in the transmission at the torque converter. Whoever had this before, they took it to Lexus. This was in 2020. It's 2025 now. They took it to Lexus. Lexus diagnosed it and said it needs a new computer. Okay, great. That's all I know until now. So I think what happened is it went to auction or something, or they sold it, traded it in. Another dealer got it. Now the new dealer, I don't know if they knew that Lexus diagnosed that problem or not, or if they just started on their own. Seemed like they're on the right track, but they did the parts cannon. They just threw everything they thought was wrong at it. So first thing I did, I lifted up the car, I inspected everything. I saw that the brackets on the transmission for the wiring harness did not have bolts. So that means the harness had to have been disconnected from the transmission, which means they probably swapped the transmission. Another thing, the sensor is an Amazon sensor. It has like a QR code on it. It's not OE. So they replaced the speed sensor in the front of the on the front of the trans, passenger side front on the torque converter. Still nothing. I get the car. It has a used ECU in it with warranty stickers and paint and all sorts of stuff. So this was loose in there, installed. No brackets, obviously. So I'm like, oh no. They replaced the ECU, they replaced the sensor, they replaced the transmission. It still didn't work. So I was kind of scared. I'm like, what could it be? So we verified that the signal, there's only 2 wires coming from that front sensor. Front sensor is essentially a magnet. So when the torque converter of the drum spins, it generates a very small amount of voltage at the magnet, which turns it back to the ECU. The ECU detects it, and based on that voltage, it knows how fast in RPM the torque converter or drum is spinning. So, did some diagnosing, and then the trans fluid, I checked that. It was low. It smelled like candy or sugar. So I don't know if they put some kind of like sealer in there or wrong transmission fluid or something. We put in a couple extra quarts, got it up to where it should be, the correct level of world fluid. So that's good to go. I replaced the sensor. Again, I checked the wiring. Again, didn't work. I'm like, is it the trans? Is something in the trans like not pulsing? No, we checked that. So last step, put in another ECU. Now that's not the original. So 2 ECUs, could 2 have been bad? I don't know what happened with this. But at this point, you see this, you're like, oh, they tried the ECU already. It must be the transmission. Put in another transmission. Well, let's see what happened here. So you might be asking, how do you program a new ECU for a mobilizer or whatever? Well, the answer is very simple. Straight out of Lexus Pro Demand or TIS or whatever. So this is how, it doesn't say on here, but this is the process if you replace the ECU. All that needs to be done is it needs to be recoded, and it does that by itself. So you jump pin 4 here, and then pin 13, I think it's 13, but it's the 5th one over. So CGTC, you jump that, leave that for 30 minutes with the ignition on. Turn the ignition off, pull the wire out, and at that point, the new ECU is basically synced to the steering lock ECU. An ECU down here that helps figure out, is the key correct? That also has something to do with the mobilizer. So that's it. You don't have to do any kind of like computer programming, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. And then car starts, obviously, no MO problems. Oops, trying to turn it off. So we're back to this screen again. You remember from the previous portion of the video, we checked this. This was 0 because the signal was dead. And engine speed, that should match that, so this one will be a little bit different because you're dealing with torque converter and lockup, non-lockup, but here we go. There we go. We got it. So you can see it's a little bit off, but as we rev up, boom, it works. So whether the second ECU was bad or they fried the ECU or whatever, that was the problem. So sucks for them, good for me. I got to put this on sale tomorrow, and awesome. This is just awesome. So that wraps up the video. Hopefully next video we'll have this one all wrapped up and on for sale, because this one needs to go. This LS is good to go. We've got it officially on sale now. We've got our cool neon numbers, just like a real car dealership. We've got the buyer's guide, we've got the full Carfax, the full Lexus history since day one, since this car was picked up. In the next video, this is what we got coming up. We've got this thing that I can't give away. Again, this thing I'm asking only $5,000. It's a GT35R Land Cruiser, makes like 300 wheel horsepower, which is double what it made stock. This is my daily driver, 365,000 mile LS, super rare, pearl white with black interior. You're never going to find this in a 04 to 06. But we've also got a Toyota Century coming. We've got 2 Aristos on the way for more content with that. We're going to the auction next week here locally. There's some interesting things that I think would make a good video. A ton of Toyotas. I'll actually put some videos from the last auction, which was last week. Totally rotted out cars that I can't believe sold, but they did. So stay tuned for that. That'll come out about a week from now, week and a half, something like that. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, click the notification bell, and let me know about your Lexuses. I've got many. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus all the other ones. It's out of control. It's out of control here. Take care. Goodbye.